and welcome back to another video on the Wrestle Debate and to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10. And yeah, we're getting ever so closer now to Hell in a Cell. So yeah, the Smackdown brand kind of heating up now. Lots of interesting storylines going on. Of course, the Usos became the Unified Tag Champs last week, so we'll have all the fallout from that. And that's basically what kicks off the show. After thanking Roman Reigns for allowing them the opportunity, they became the Undisputed Tag Champs by beating RK-Bro all by themselves. Jay mentioned it had been 12 years since their WWE and thanked the fans for their support. The crowd chanted for the Usos before the duo got back in character and started trash talking to fans. The brothers then celebrated the title win and made fun of RK-Bro before Nakamura made his entrance and challenged the Usos to a tag match. Usos reminded that his partner was with booze and he was injured, and Nakamura had a connection, and he revealed that his new partner is Riddle. A brawl broke out and the Usos managed to clear the ring before isolating Nakamura. Riddle came back with a floating bro on the chance to take them out. Nakamura and Riddle kicked the Usos out of the ring and SmackDown moved on. And yeah, this is an intriguing development. I did not see this coming, but yeah, I mean, like, it has all the potentials for an interesting tag team partnership, let's just say that. And yeah, well, Randy's out, it could be an interesting thing. Backstage we then saw Riddle said that it was Randy who had the idea of just getting him teaming up to take on the Usos. So yeah, intrigued to see where this goes. It'll be interesting. Ronda versus Raquel Rodriguez was next up. We saw Shotzi riling out the rest of the women's locker room and managing to unite Natalya and Shayna against Raquel. The trio headed outside to interfere in the match, but Aliyah locked Shotzi in the locker room, but Natty and Shayna were already on their way out. Rodriguez was dominating, had Ronda locked in abdominal shots when Shayna and Natalya came in and took her down. Rodriguez was beaten up by the duo and Ronda joined the brawl to help her out. Ronda and Raquel managed to toss the attackers out of the ring before we headed for a break and then came back to Baszler and Natalya versus Ronda and Raquel. The match began during the break, with Shayna and Raquel in the ring, with Baszler dominating early on. Raquel sent Baszler outside the ring before making the tag to Ronda. Natalya was in as well and was being tossed around by the champ. Natalya then locked in Shotzi before Raquel and Shayna were tagged back in. Raquel got caught through her elbow drop, pushing Shayna into Ronda. Natalya then dragged Ronda out of the ring before she and Baszler could start fighting, while Raquel hit the Teenager Bomb on Shayna for the victory. And yeah, to be honest, it gets a 5 out of 10 from me. It just didn't really click. The rematch in the first place just felt unnecessary. And yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of this. I mean, like, the women's tag team division is just so meaningless at the moment. Yeah, I just couldn't get anything out of this 5 out of 10 really. The New Day were backstage and said that they would reveal their secret tag team partner right before the match before we got Los Lothario versus Jinder and Shanky. Shanky was first in with Humberto and had the early advantage before tagging in Jinder. The Lotharios then made a tag as well as isolating Jinder in the ring. Jinder was sent outside before Angel kicked him through the ropes. Angel headed to the outside and broke into a dart before Shanky snuck up from behind and bonked him in the head. In the ring, Humberto hit Jinder with a springboard knee and got the pin before Shanky could interfere. After the match, Jinder yelled at Shanky before goofing off, but the 7-foot superstar told him off before dancing at ringside. Jesus Christ. 5 out of 10. No, 4 out of... I'll be nice, 5 out of 10, but without comment. Backstage Pro was backstage on SmackDown when Adam Pearce told him that the WWE's contract with his agency was indeed legal and binding. Before Kevin Owens was obsessing over Elias and Ezekiel and invited Sami Zayn onto the KO show, Sami and Kevin got up and put their differences aside before praising each other. Zayn agreed that Elias and Ezekiel were the same person and it almost made Kevin cry. Owens asked Zayn to leave SmackDown and go to Raw to sort things out. Sami said that he could not leave the blue brand and called Owens Zeus by mistake. Owens called Sami naive and said that he wasn't in the bloodline. Sami was furious and said that Elias and Ezekiel were not the same person. Two argued and called each other names before Owens brought up the times when the bloodline abandoned Sami. Owens said that if the bloodline cared about him, they would have been out if he called for them and proceeded to call them out, but no one showed up. Sami headed out and Kevin tried to talk to him, but Sami shoved him back in and walked off. Owens was furious and saw members of the crew take down the KO showing signs in the ring. Kevin ran back in and hit stunners on the two crew members before SmackDown continued. And yeah, I freaking love these two. It's just so great to see Kevin and Sami back in the ring together. I mean, like, they're just so brilliant together. So yeah, absolutely love this. Ricochet and Drew Gulak versus Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser was up next. Drew and Ludwig kicked off the match and Gulak took a beating early on before being tossed out the ring. Back after a break, Ricochet tagged and hit a big springboard move before being tossed outside as well. Ricochet lifted Kaiser on his shoulders, but Ludwig jabbed him in the eye to get away. Gulak came in off a blind tag and tried to attack Kaiser, but was taken down with a penalty kick before Ludwig picked up the win for his team. After the match, Gunther hit Ricochet with a big boot to the face before getting another one and knee strike on Gulak before he was done. And yeah, this was good stuff. 6 out of 10 from me. yeah, I'm loving Gunther so far, and hopefully he wins the IC title. Sami Zayn was backstage and asked Usos if he could join the Bloodline as an honorary tag member, and the tag champs agreed to it. Love it. Before we got New Day and a mystery partner versus Sheamus, Butch and Ridge Holland, and it turned out to be Drew McIntyre. No real surprise. It's hardly going to be someone like a Big Return or someone like that, or Biggie or whatever. But no surprise that it's Drew. And just moving on. Sheamus and his boys were out first, and said they didn't care about who the partner was. Sheamus said they could get anyone in the world, but Fight Night would still beat them. New Day were out and revealed it to be Drew McIntyre. Butch and Woods kicked off the match, and Kofi was tagged in early. Butch was isolated in the ring, and New Day unloaded on him on the mat before he came back with a few strikes and tagged Sheamus in. Sheamus was in control, and he isolated Woods in the corner before taking Butch and Holland in. Woods managed to break free and tagged Drew, who came in and cleared the ring before tossing Kofi at Holland. After a break, Sheamus got a near fall before Woods took him down with a DDT outside the ring. Holland sent Drew into the ring steps, and Woods get into the barricade before Sheamus caught the SOS from Kofi in the ring. Drew then recovered and tagged in before destroying Holland and Butch with suplexes and neckbreakers. Drew then stopped Butch outside, and Woods came in with a kick through the ropes. Sheamus was tossed outside as well before Kofi hit him with a dive. Drew then got a Glasgow kiss on Holland before hitting a Claymore. Woods was tagged in, and he hit a top rope elbow before picking up the victory. Drew and New Day celebrated their win as SmackDown went off the air, and yeah, I mean, like, it gets a 6 out of 10 from me. It was all very predictable in how it ends up. Not really got a problem with it, but yeah, just a standard 6 out of 10 from me. Overall this week, SmackDown gets a 6 out of 10. I was aiming and ahhing between a 5 and a 6, but I kind of went for a 6 just because I'm a positive Pete. But yeah, to be honest, it wasn't a great episode of SmackDown. I'd say the first half of the show especially was really poor, but there were some decent bits in there. Sammy KO, the main event was okay, so on the whole it was fine, but definitely really could have been better. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and subscribe to not miss follow this link description for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channel and screen will now be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.